Triple H announced his retirement. Damn. I could say I lived long enough to watch Triple H wrestle in the ring. Not in person though. Damn, man. I never got to watch wrestling like live. Got to see Triple H. Man, Triple H is getting old. Damn. Time to play the game! Did it. Yo, come on, man. It's all about the game, yo. Every time he came out and he hit the ring with the yo, come on, man. You said you never went to I never went to a WWE live event, man. Never. I wish I did though, man. Yo. As long as Triple H stays healthy and he doesn't get, he doesn't harm his body, that's all that matters to me. Same thing with Undertaker. Like I want like the old wrestlers, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Like people I grew up with. Fucking Finley. Damn, Sheamus is getting to that point where he's getting old. Like I think about when I saw Sheamus the first time and I'm like, fuck, he's old. Randy Orton. Yo, Randy Orton, he's still wrestling. That motherfucker's old. Randy Orton, Kane. I don't think Kane wrestles anymore. Does Kane still wrestle? I doubt he still wrestles. Doesn't he doesn't he do political shit? John Cena, bro. John Cena's old as shit. John Cena definitely, I think he's just doing movies now and stuff. Orton is still going. Rey Mysterio's a relic. Yo, I think Rey Mysterio tried to quit 2 times, but he didn't. And then now his son is trying to take over the torch. Bro, I hope his son becomes big in WWE, man. I hope his son has the same work ethic and drive like Rey Mysterio. Because Rey Mysterio's a fucking OG. Rey is done. Rey has to retire because he's so old, man. You said Rey is training his son. He has to, man. He has to train his son. Like, if his son wants to be big in WWE, and WWE is going to push him because he comes from roots that are of high legacy. Like, Rey Mysterio, come on, bro. Everybody knows who the fuck Rey Mysterio is. He's a fucking legend. It's the same thing with The Rock. That's why people like Roman Reigns, the Usos are getting pushed out. Why? Because they came from family. Rikishi, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, the Usos, Roman Reigns. They come from a family of legacy. There's a lot of shit like that in WWE. Like, legacy families, they have to get pushed, man. It's just like, come on, bro. You said never heard of Rey Mysterio till now? Sir! Come on, man. You never heard of Rey Mysterio, The Big Show? Well, that one clip of me. Well... I always think of that stupid-ass clip from me playing fucking Hollow Knight with The Big Show. The Big Show, come on. Brock Lesnar. Yo, I was never a fan of Brock Lesnar till, probably, recently, about a year or 2 ago, I started liking Brock Lesnar more. But I didn't know Brock Lesnar was that big of a legend in the past. Roman Reigns. You said LMAO and Hollow Knight, man. That fight had me tight. I still cannot believe I defeated him, though. I cannot believe I defeated him. He was such a hard boss. You said, isn't the Roman Reigns Rock's cousin? Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He comes from a bloodline of family. It was like the same thing with this guy. What's his name? Umaga. Rest in peace to Umaga. But Umaga was also from that family bloodline. They're all Samoan, you know? I don't care. The Rock's tattoo, and then even the Usos got that tattoo where they got the whole shit on their arm. They got the Samoan shit. That shit's fire. They live from a family of legacy and shit. Hulk Hogan will always be a legend. Even though I know a lot of people don't like Hulk Hogan, I still see Hulk Hogan as a legend. Because I'm he's an icon. Even though people don't like him because of shit in the past, I still respect Hulk Hogan. Chris Jericho, Edge as well. Edge, I grew up watching Edge. The Hardy brothers, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, Lita, I grew up with them. Batista, I fucking love Batista. Every time he came out, come on, Hardest opening. Dun, dun, dun. I forgot how it went. Then it went to the dun. Hold up. I gotta hear it. I'm about to get hit with copyright, but come on, man. The Batista, come on. He hits you with the boom. Come on. The Miz, oh my God. I can't believe The Miz even became... The Miz, I feel like he's not a legend yet. CM Punk's a legend in a sense. Chris Benoit, oh. I mean, Chris Benoit, obviously, his passing away was very dark. But his legacy, I still try to just think of him as in the legacy of what he did. But I don't want to think of how he took his life. And obviously, you know, it was a very dark story with Chris Benoit. Dolph Ziggler, I feel like is a legend, but they're not letting him shine.
Personally, the thing keeping me watching wrestling was Kane and Paige when both stopped.
Paige was bad, bro.
In watching, but still loved talking about it.
Yo, I remember when everyone was like, yo, Paige had a sex tape, and everyone was like, yo, Paige was so bad, bro. Like, yo, every time she came out on that ring, I was like, full bite on my lip, dude. You know who else was hot? I don't care, as a kid, I used to have a power boner seeing her. Mickie James, bro. Say what y'all want about Mickie James. She was bad, bro. Mickie James had me bricked up every time she came out. I don't care. Mickie James was bad. So bad, bro. Yo, I feel like such a boomer wrestler head, man. I used to love watching wrestling. Like, I don't watch wrestling so hard now, but I do have to catch up to it because I know WrestleMania is happening. I gotta watch that shit. Because I like a lot of the new people in wrestling, but new Family Guy just tries too hard. It's like SpongeBob. Old SpongeBob was funny, new SpongeBob tries too hard.
Since we've been on the topic of wrestling, this video might interest you but would also make you feel very old. Long yes, but interesting from start to finish. You could 2x if you want.
Oh shit, hold on, what's this? What's this, oddity?
In the first episode of Never Ever, I talked about the appeal of SpongeBob. I like SpongeBob, and it's not difficult to explain why I like SpongeBob, because everybody likes SpongeBob. Professional wrestling is a bit of a different story. When I say names like Ric Flair...
Yo, I remember seeing this live!
Because everybody likes SpongeBob. Professional wrestling is a bit of a different
Yo, bro, I'm telling you, I remember watching this live, dude. Live. Yo. So, there was a bet that happened. I forgot what the bet happened. But Bobby Lashley got to shave Mr. McMahon's head. And Donald Trump was there. Yes. Yes. Donald Trump was there. I think Donald Trump had to have a fight with Mr. McMahon. Donald Trump ended up beating him. And because Donald Trump beated Mr. McMahon, Bobby Lashley got to shave his head with Stone Cold Steve Austin being there. And I remember watching this shit as a kid like it was yesterday in my old CTR television, or CRT, whatever the fuck it was called. And I was fucking going crazy. I was like, I cannot believe this shit is happening.
story. When I say names like Ric Flair, Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, and
ooh, Ric Flair. Woo!
Andre the Giant, most of you can probably picture a vague figure in your heads, but you can't specifically tell who I'm talking about. Why is this? Well, the answer is, professional wrestling is one of the most popular and unpopular forms of entertainment on Earth. Trying to justify to people why I enjoy watching professional wrestling is like trying to justify why manatees haven't gone extinct. On the surface, it just looks so dumb and awkward and makes you wonder how something like it could even exist, and more importantly...
No, it's true. The other day when I was very litty, and when I told you, when I get litty, I overthink things really hard when I get too lit. So there was a moment where I got very lit and I had a situation where I was thinking about wrestling. And I was like, people are paying money to people to go in a ring and fight people. Fake. It's not 100% real because there's a storyline. So the wins and losses are already predetermined. So everything is not fake, but in a sense fake. And I overthought about it one time and I was like, bro, people are paying to watch this. But I'm like, but it's entertainment. That's the whole point though.
How it continues to exist. Now,
it's very good.
The idea of watching half-naked, oily, buff dudes pretending to beat each other.
Yes, and yes, half oily, buff. Everybody's oily, everybody's buff. You know who used to come out hella oily? Batista was mad oily.
Doesn't exactly sound like the most entertaining thing in the world, but that's kind of what makes it so amazing. Because despite its weird premise and clumsy appearance, professional wrestling fosters the capacity for emotional storytelling that can compel an arena of stoic adults to jump out of their seats and scream like little kids.
Yes.
Don't believe me? Well, then you probably haven't watched an episode of Monday Night Raw.
Yo, Monday Night Raw back in the day, bro. Fire. And then they used to have the fireworks, like the... Yo! And the crowd is just like... nuts.
20,000 fans with an attitude. This is WWF Raw.
Yo, Raw, come on, man, Raw. Like, let's be, is this a Emp Lemon video? You're lying. I haven't watched Emp Lemon in years.
But Amp, a lot of you are probably thinking, professional wrestling isn't real. You must be too dumb to realize that.
With the Jimmy Neutron. Hold on.
I am smarter than you because I know that professional
You said you know him, bro. Bro, Emp is a memer. I've known about Emp Lemon because of the meme that he used to make of this guy where he'd be like, who was it? Motherfucker! He made a meme on him. He did YouTube poops. I saw the Shrek YouTube poop compilation, which I laughed my ass off to. He makes a lot of good YouTube poops. His editing is crazy.
Wrestling is fake. Oh man, you got me. Professional wrestling is not, in fact, a real athletic competition. There's no getting around.
Yo, he sold that shit. Yo, Batista just said... Yo, Batista just threw himself.
Professional wrestling is not, in fact, a real athletic competition. There's no getting around that. Guess I have to end the video here because pro wrestling isn't real.
It's still real to me, damn it.
But neither is Star Wars, or the Avengers, or Goku, or Homer Simpson, or any
No, true. True. People would bring up that argument like wrestling is not real, but I'm like, but anything else you watch isn't real either. You know? Like, I hate those people who would say like, oh, I'm about to say Eminem. Like wrestling is like, you know, I love wrestling. I think it's great.
character in Super Smash Bros. None of these things are real. However, it doesn't stop people from talking about them far more than they do a lot of real things. And in order to truly appreciate the rhetorical value
Wait. Harry Potter in Google Trends. And then what was the other one? He said drone strikes?
talking about them far more than they do a lot of real
Oh my god.
things. And in order to truly appreciate the rhetorical value of pro wrestling, you must treat it as it really is, a work of fiction. But not just any fiction. Pro wrestling is one of the last remaining bastions of theater. Now, like a lot of you, I went to public school, where many of you can probably remember multiple times in English class when you had to learn about this guy called Bill Shakespeare, considered by many scholars to be the greatest playwright of all time. And for so many years, I didn't get the appeal. I don't think anyone else did either. The only types of people in school who actually seemed to care about Shakespeare were the future MIT grad who memorized every piece of trivia ever, or the kid who was way too into theater. I never realized the value of Shakespeare until I discovered the treasure trove of old pro wrestling clips on YouTube.
And after we take Lex Luger in the jab, we want the gold sucker Hulk Hogan. We coming for you, nigga.
Yo, I love that clip. He broke character and he said the N-word on TV, bro. And then even Mr. McMahon said the N-word on TV at some point. Bro, I'm telling you. Yeah, he said it. And even Mr. McMahon said it to Booker T on TV. He said the N-word.
Okay, this is epic.
And only then did I realize why people love Shakespeare. Reading Shakespeare in 7th grade English is so boring because the content is not meant to be consumed through words on paper. Shakespearean plays flourished during a time before the majority
wrestling
of people
is
knew how
so
to read.
freaking, like,
Playwrights
old
and
school
actors
wrestling
had to
was so
craft
good, man.
compelling narrative performances using the limited tools they had. If you boil it down, the genre of theater mostly involves a bunch of weird people in stupid costumes prancing around and over-embellishing in iambic pentameter. Theatrical entertainment doesn't come from what's literally happening on stage. The value of theater comes from filling in the blanks using our imagination. This fundamental principle is otherwise known as the suspension of disbelief. It's why when you see this image, your brain doesn't automatically interpret it as some guy called Mark Hamill holding a blue stick. When you see this image, you see Luke Skywalker holding a lightsaber, neither of which are actually real. Suspension of disbelief allows us to accept beyond what's literally happening on screen. It allows us to experience a story and its characters as real, no matter how simple the presentation. This same principle applies to novels, comic books, musical lyrics, cartoons, movies, and yes, professional wrestling. Visual storytelling is an inherently human art form, and people have been performing stories for audiences for thousands of years, dating all the way back to the earliest known auditoriums of ancient Greece, where citizens would gather around and listen to an esteemed orator recite the works of Homer.
I'm so angry I could spit flames out of my butt.
Homer Simpson versus Lisa Simpson.
It should go without saying that the 1990s in America were very different from 6th century BC Greece. 3,000 years ago, people really didn't have that much stuff to drown out the entertainment value of a guy standing on a platform and just talking to the audience. The 1990s was the birth of a new era of screens. Television, video games, huge blockbuster movies, even the beginning of the World Wide Web. The new millennium was rapidly approaching.
Damn, son, I feel like a boomer, bro. It's like seeing all this shit again and him talking about it. I'm like, oh my god, I was fucking there. I was there for that shit. Fuck.
And everyone was preparing for the futuristic, technocratic, utopian future of the 2000s by surrounding themselves with the newest, coolest gadgets.
Oh my god, dude. The N64. Look at that. Yo, I didn't even know that N64 was $200. Oh shit, I gotta go send a text to my parents again and be like, yo, thank you guys again for the N64 from, oh my gosh. You know how much money $200 would have gotten you back in the day? Bro, that's like 2 weeks worth of groceries. Holy shit. Sprint beeper, the floppy disk, a Walkman, a Sony Walkman. Wow. I don't even know what the fuck this is. The connected organizer that keeps you in touch with your PC. I've never seen this. Everything here, though, I have seen. Windows 95.
Of the age. You'd expect that all these new entertainment sources wouldn't leave much room for little old theater, and you'd probably be right if it weren't for professional wrestling. From about 1996 to 2001, professional wrestling became one of the most inescapable cornerstones of American entertainment. And in order to understand why, we must first talk about a guy by the name of Vince McMahon.
Say what y'all want about Vince McMahon. I know like his decisions that he makes now aren't the greatest, but he's a legend still. Come on. Vince McMahon, legend.
Vince McMahon started out with nothing.
Damn, he looks good when he was young. He had that military hair and everything. Shit.
In a dirt poor household with an abusive stepfather. Today he's worth about $3.5 billion, which is a little bit more than Donald Trump. It should be noted that this disparity hasn't prevented the two from being friends, which is the primary reason why Vince's wife Linda is currently in the executive cabinet of the United States. Perhaps Vince—
What? I did not know that. She's in the executive cabinet? What?
Primary reason why Vince's wife Linda is currently in the executive cabinet of the United States. Perhaps Vince and Donald are such good friends because they have so much in common. The two billionaires were born just 10 months apart. Both got rich not through a groundbreaking invention, but through ruthless business acumen. Both of them started a rival football league to the NFL that ultimately failed, and both of them built empires by transforming businesses that they inherited from their fathers. In Vince McMahon's case, he reunited with his father, Vince McMahon, Sr., at the age of 12. Vince Sr. owned the Worldwide Wrestling Federation, and Vince took a managerial position at the company.
Perhaps the most phenomenal athlete.
Oh my god, I've never seen that. That's him with Andre the Giant? Holy shit.
I'm standing to my right. The one and only Andre the Giant heads up one-on-one.
By the mid-1980s, Vince Sr. had passed away and Vince McMahon was now in charge of a
Damn,
booming
rest in
wrestling
peace.
empire. Over the past decade, McMahon had completely overhauled the territorial system of the pro wrestling industry and transformed the WWF into a nationally recognized brand. In the 80s, the WWF experienced their first great boom period. Vince's ambitious business ventures like WrestleMania brought professional wrestling into the American pay-per-view market and transformed stars like Hulk Hogan into national icons. The WWF's huge success in the late 80s quickly began to recede in the early 90s, however, This was due to a multitude of reasons, ranging from a waning audience, Hulk Hogan departing for Hollywood, and a massive steroid controversy that almost sent Vince to prison, coupled with other failed experiments such as the World Bodybuilding Federation. It's safe to say that by 1993, Vince was in dire need of a new enterprise. It was at this time when Vince decided to transition the WWF into a staple of cable television through the debut of Monday Night Raw.
Damn, 1993? Bro, I was 1 year old. January 11th, I was about to become 1 year old. Holy shit, in March. The Macho Man!
Ever since the popularization of the television in American society, professional wrestling has always had its place on TV, but never to the extent of what Monday Night Raw brought to television. Prior to Raw, the primary role of wrestling on TV was to stimulate interest in live shows.
Monado, brother! Monado, you didn't have to do that, man! Damn!
That's all I
Monado.
got for tonight. Hope you had a blast today.
Yo, man. Nah, definitely I had a blast today, man. Yo, Monado, thank you. Thank you, brother. Holy shit. You didn't have to throw that at me. You threw so much earlier, man. Fuck. Monado with the sheesh and the explosion. Thank you, man. He said my last one, I swear, yo. Thank you, man. Fuck me. Holy shit. People in the chat, throw them salutes up, man. Thank you again, Monado. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, my brother. Thank you. Fuck.
Pay-per-views.
Oh my
Wrestling programming at
goodness.
this time was supplemental, and most
Thank you, dude.
old events or promoting
Coming
news.
through
You would
strong
hardly ever
with
see
that
any high-profile and
hundo.
interesting wrestling matches televised during this
Fuck.
time, as the intrigue was reserved for more important events. Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, this man Monado crazy. He crazy, man.
Story every Monday night on the USA
Fuck.
Network. Before Raw, pro wrestling was limited in its storytelling capabilities, as most of the time the audience would only be aware of the narrative and character.
Nah, seriously, chat. Anybody who's here with me still at 11 a.m., I fucking love y'all and I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you guys so much. Fuck. Bro, we've been streaming for almost 9 hours and it doesn't even feel like it. VG, chill. Nah. Don't start this shit up again. You guys are bugging out. It is 11 a.m. VG with the 50. Yo. You guys are
Happy
bugging.
belated birthday, bro. Go get yourself something nice.
Yo.
Always happy to support my Pokemon Go best friend. May the shiny gods be with you.
Yo. You said it's 1 a.m., 11:11. Oh, it's
You never
1:12.
drunk. It's 1:11 a.m. EDT, my nigga.
I said 11:11. It's 1:12. I saw two 11s. I saw two 1s. Thank you, VG. Thank you, Monado. I fucking love y'all, man. Thank you. Holy shit. Sora says, you hella drunk. It's 1:11 EDT. This goddamn soju, and I'm not even done drinking it. There's still like a little bit of soju left. This shit is strong as fuck. Go to sleep. No. We not sleeping yet. We're gonna chill for a little bit. We not sleeping yet.
Events each year. Raw greatly expanded the capacity for
Thank you.
storytelling in the WWF, as the audience could now tune into new developments on a weekly basis. The foundation had been set for one of the most innovative and unique television.
Yo,
programs
thank
in
you
the
again,
world,
VG
but it would take an
Monado. Thank
entirely
you,
separate
man.
force to truly take Raw
Fuck.
to the
Thank you,
next
Sora.
level. Today, the WWF is now the WWE, and it's the only major wrestling promotion in America. In the 90s, however, there was another. WCW was a wrestling promotion largely based in the South, and by the 1990s, it was the only major wrestling promotion in America that Vince had failed to conquer. The company was largely helped by the endorsement of media mogul Ted Turner, a longtime wrestling fan who supported WCW by airing its programming on the Turner family of networks. In the early 90s, WCW quickly became a
You know what's crazy, bro? I thought Mr. McMahon owned WCW. Ted Turner. Oh, shit.
popular alternative to the WWF. due in large part to signing some of the WWF's older and more established talent. In 1995, a Turner Network executive by the name of Eric Bischoff decided the time was right to challenge...
my God, bro. Eric Bischoff? I remember this man popping up in like later on in wrestling, but I didn't know that he had such a lore and history with WWE, that he was there that far back. You said who? Bro, Eric Bischoff?
the WWF's throne as the #1 wrestling company in America. On September 4th, 1995, WCW would launch Monday Nitro, their own weekly block of wrestling entertainment on TNT. Nitro would go on to compete head-to-head with Raw, occupying the same primetime time slot. And starting in 1996, Nitro would overtake Raw in television viewership, beginning an 84-week-long streak of WCW dominance. In the midst of Nitro's prolonged period of success over Raw, Vince McMahon knew that his company was now in jeopardy. More and more of the WWF's high-end talent were jumping ship to WCW, leaving Raw stuck with a cast of unpopular and unproven faces. So when...
That's basically happening right now with AEW. All the talent from WWE is now going to AEW. Bro, it's like history's repeating itself. What the fuck?
Faced with such stiff competition, Vince did what any other monarch would do when his empire is threatened. Go to war.
You want to go to war? You want a war? You're going to get one.
It has been said that anything can happen here in the World Wrestling Federation, but now more than ever, truer words have never been spoken.
You don't see knives, you don't see guns, you don't see rapes, you don't see anything at all like that that's portrayed in anything that we do. It's a very wholesome, family-oriented environment.
WWF wrestling in the 80s and early 90s.
Okay, buddy. He said a very family, wholesome environment. You a liar. WWE back in the day was not family friendly. They had fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin committing all types of crazy shit. Go talk about, I'm the Stone Cold Steve Austin, I'm the fucking rattlesnake. Let me get myself a goddamn beer. And then they throw the whole beer at him and he's gonna hit both them shits. Drinking both them shits. And then we had fucking The Rock talking in third person, which I loved. I don't care what anybody says. The Rock talking in third person was my favorite shit. He used to come out, I'm over here on Monday Night Raw, and The Rock looks at Stone Cold Steve Austin and looks at Andre the Giant. Come on, man. And the woman, yes, the lingerie matches. Oh. And then when the bras came off and the girls were just holding their titties, they're like, I was just be like, as a little Jimmy, I was bugging out.
These was largely a reflection of American culture at the time. It had...
Plus, I don't care what anybody says. The Rock was the best on the mic. Nobody could beat The Rock on the fucking mic, dude. He was S tier plus
the deceptively
on the
sanitized
mic.
Exterior of traditional family values that was masking a grotesque underbelly of steroids, cocaine.
Plus, he has like a cool ass move, man. Come on, man. He hits you with the people's elbow and then he hits you with the rock bottom. I love the rock bottom. I wish I could do that to somebody IRL. Just grab them, put their hand over your shit and just...
and painkillers. You had the bleached blonde hero Hulk Hogan patriotically leg-dropping America's nefarious foreign adversaries. By the mid-90s, a lot of people in America began to see through the facade, which gave rise to a huge movement of counterculture. All of a sudden, you had the American hero Hulk Hogan dyeing his beard black, smoking cigars, and beating up good guys on WCW, and people loved it. Vince could see the tide of American culture turning, and he knew that if he wanted to save his empire, he was going to have to get edgy. What transpired was one of the most awe-inspiring 2 years in the history of American television. With Monday Night Raw and WCW Nitro,
Yo, I remember. I like how he put the little thing, 80-year-old woman. Yo, he spied. It was the Dudley brothers. The Dudley brothers grabbed this old lady, spine busted her through 2 tables, and he just stood there with like the most dumbfounded face on some... No! You spine busted this old lady! Oh my god. Wrong track. All right, we go in. Look.
Constantly trying to outdo each other for a share of the American...
Boom!
Steve is a dead man walking because when Austin 316 meets Pillman, oh my god,
Imagine...
He pulled out a whole Glock on live TV.
Even if Seinfeld and Friends were both trying to put each other out of business, as members of each cast would constantly swap back and forth between each show, this is what it must have been like to watch professional wrestling during this era. I could list off a compilation of all the outrageous and incredible—
Oh my God, you see this? Can you believe, like, we just showed a picture earlier on the stream of Chris Jericho still wrestling. This is Chris Jericho like fucking 20 years ago, bro, in wrestling. This man is still doing it.
Events that were transpiring between these companies on a weekly basis. But to truly help you grasp the absolute madness of this
Sting,
time, I only need to show you one moment from one episode of Monday Night Raw. But before you can truly know the significance of this moment,
look at that. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock with, who's this, Mankind? I know this is Mick Foley, but I forgot which persona is it. Is it Mick Foley, Mankind, or Dude Loved? It was Mankind, right?
I've got some explaining to do. First and foremost, every good story needs a good protagonist. So let's talk about Mick Foley.
Yeah, Mick Foley.
When you picture a professional wrestler in your head, you probably don't picture a guy like Mick Foley. Mick Foley's pear-shaped physique hardly resembles the tall, chiseled muscle man.
Nah, Mick Foley's a legend, man. I remember when I saw that one match where like he had a spiked baseball bat and there was like thumbtacks in the fucking mats, bro. Dude, legend. I saw that shit as a kid and I was like, nah, this guy will never leave my mind. Like, I thought about that shit for like days. Like, yo, I cannot believe I saw that shit on TV.
Common in the WWF. Mick Foley doesn't have the freakish size, Herculean strength, or Olympic athleticism to draw an audience. The reason wrestling fans watch Mick Foley is to watch him get hurt.
Yes!
By all measures, Mick Foley is simply not talented enough to earn a share of the pro wrestling spotlight. To compensate for this, he sacrifices his own body through some of the most death-defying stunts the WWF has ever seen.
What? In this clip, Mick Foley attempts the risky hangman stunt. Unfortunately, the ring ropes have been drawn extra, cutting off his means of escape and placing him at a serious risk of his... What? He was choking there? Foley is forced to wedge his head through ropes to free himself. He loses half his ear in the process. Bro.
Perhaps Mick Foley's most iconic moment came in 1998 during the second ever Hell in a Cell match.
Yo, is that the one where like he jumps through the steel cage on the top and went completely down like 10 feet? Yo, even though like I do say wrestling is fake to a certain extent, a lot of these stunts are real, bro. And this shit could like fuck up your whole body.
In this match, Mick Foley is wrestling as Mankind, just one of his 3 different wrestling personas.
Yeah, he has Dude Love,
Mankind
Cactus
is
Jack.
supposed to be this disfigured, gremlin-like guy who lives in the boiler room beneath the arena. He finishes off his opponents by suffocating them with a dirty sock. And he...
Fucking Carlito. Didn't Carlito come back for like a certain amount of time and then Carlito left again, didn't he? I haven't seen Carlito ever again. He left again? Why did he leave? Was he just a Royal Rumble thing? That's it? I could have sworn he came back. He's on bro. Carlito's at AEW?
He's completely insane. In this match, Mankind is fighting The Undertaker.
The Undertaker.
The Undertaker is one of the most legendary and recognizable wrestlers of all time. It's difficult to get wrestling fans to agree on anything, but even the most jaded ones will act giddy upon hearing the sound of The Undertaker's iconic dong.
Nah, let's be honest. Bro, you hear that dong, it's time, and I'm gonna get hyped. Especially if I'm seeing this shit live, I'm jumping on my fucking seat. I don't care, bro. It's the fucking Undertaker. It's the legend.
Oh my God! What? The dead man has risen!
The popularity of The Undertaker is
Hit him with the
difficult to
choke
describe
slam.
for anyone who's not a fan of professional wrestling, and I'm not going to try to explain it now, but maybe Justin Wang from the YouTube channel Wang can, since, you know, he kind of looks like The Undertaker.
The Undertaker is hands down the greatest character in the history of WWE. He debuts at a time when Vince is going crazy, throwing all kinds of different gimmicks against the wall. Literally shares his first pay-per-view appearance with a guy in a giant turkey costume. But unlike the Garbage Man, who for some reason also wrestles, or the Plumber, who for some reason also wrestles, the Undead Zombie, who for some reason also wrestles, had way more staying power.
Yeah, rest in peace to I forgot this guy's name. I know somebody in the chat's gonna know.
Wrestles, or the plumber who for some
But that guy, he used to walk around with the urn and be like, I forgot his name, dude.
also wrestles.
He used to be like,
Zombie, who for some reason
him.
also wrestles, had way more staying power.
Rest in
the
peace.
Undertaker very quickly becomes a fan favorite and maintains that status for almost 30 years. He continually reinvents himself over the course of those 30 years and eventually becomes the
Paul Bearer. Yes, that's his name. Paul fucking Bearer, man.
unbeatable final boss of WrestleMania. Except for that time he got beaten. But it's actually kind of a good thing that he got beaten, because to pigeonhole him as the WrestleMania guy minimizes everything else that he's accomplished in his career.
Thanks, Justin. I'm not going to get too much into The Undertaker right now because he doesn't really play a role in the Raw moment I'm discussing. But he was involved in Mick Foley's most recognizable moment ever.
Yes.
By throwing Mankind off the top of the cell in front of thousands of stunned spectators. Mick Foley's 280-pound body plummeted from the height of a 2-story building and splashed down on the announcer table below. No one had ever seen any—
Yo, I don't care, bro. Wrestling back in the day, bro, was peak. So fucking peak. Imagine watching this shit as a kid, bro. Like, my mom had to shut my ass up. I was like, ah!
anything like it. The following shots of Mick Foley show medical personnel surrounding him and lifting his limp body onto a stretcher. At this point, any fan watching would have walked away completely satisfied with the effort that Mick had already put into this one stunt. About 5 minutes later, this happened.
Hell in a cell match. Are you kidding me? He wants to go back up. Mankind is going back up. No way. If he throws him up on the other side, there's...
Yes, in the stage. Watching from the back, I thought he was dead. Terry Funk said this. I ran out here and looked down at him, still lying in the ring where he'd landed. His eyes weren't rolled back in his head, but he looked totally glazed over, like a dead fish's eyes. Yo, this fucking man, Mick Foley's a legend, dude.
Shortly after this, Mick Foley can be seen, somehow still conscious, sitting up in the ring corner with his tooth in his nostril.
What? That's his tooth?
About 10 more minutes. Where he eventually got chokeslammed onto a pile of thumbtacks.
Choke slammed to a pile of thumbtacks.
The Undertaker won
Oh!
this match, but Mick Foley, through his superhuman resilience to pain, had won the hearts of the WWF fans. Naturally, this match instantly cemented Mick Foley as a legend in the pro wrestling
Oh, no,
universe,
definitely.
and as a fan favorite.
You said fake? Nah, them shits is real. Them thumbtacks is real. You know why? Because I remember when I saw not Mr. McMahon, when Randy Orton fell in the thumbtacks and the look on his face was just, and the way he was trembling, and when he was taking the thumbtacks out and you saw the blood blistering up, that shit is real. I don't care what anybody says. Y'all can say, oh, fake. The thumbtacks are real. The thumbtacks are real.
And even though he won the admiration of the audience, he never quite seemed like a guy who was supposed to win a lot of matches. And most importantly, never did anyone truly believe that Mick Foley could become the WWF champion.
You said CGI
So
back in the
what's
day?
point of
CGI?
watching big, strong dudes throw each other off the tops of buildings? Well, the goal of both fictional wrestling and legitimate athletic competitions is to find out who is the best in the world. So you have a bunch of wrestlers fight each other, and some of them win more than others. And only then do the winningest wrestlers have an opportunity to fight for the WWF Championship. Becoming the champion is not just the ultimate goal for the characters in the storyline. It is also the ultimate sign of validation for a wrestler's...
Damn, I'm kind of sad I was never there in that Eddie Guerrero era. Like, I was never an Eddie Guerrero head. I think, like, I really started to get into wrestling hard right when he passed away. And I remember, like, that shit hit the community so hard. Like, people to this day still talk about Eddie Guerrero, and they'd be like, yo, like every time they talk about Eddie Guerrero, you could just see, like, the sadness in their face. They'd be like, fuck. And I'm like, damn, man.
real-life career. The fundamental foundation of every wrestling narrative is watching guys
Yeah, rest
fight
in peace
become
to
the
Eddie.
champion. Lower tiers of wrestlers will each fight for their own version of a championship, but no title is more coveted and more prestigious than the WWF Heavyweight Championship.
Yes.
Historically, the WWF...
Yo, there was one day where I was this close to buying one of the replica belts, like, off their website. And I think it was, like, I forgot how much it was. I know it was more than, like, $150. But I was this close to just saying, fuck it, and just buying a replica belt just so I could have it. And then just, like, you know, just have my own belt, you know?
Title has been reserved for only the biggest, most popular attraction in the company. When you become the WWF champion, you become the face of the company. Usually, the championship only changes hands once, maybe twice a year, so whenever it happens, it's a pretty big deal. And on the January 4th, 1999 episode of Raw, Mankind found himself with an opportunity to win the WWF Championship. This is the essence of his hero's journey. But every hero needs a good villain. And the villain of this story just so happens to be the guy Mick Foley is facing for the championship. A man who many of you already know.
Do you smell what The Rock is...
Yo! The fucking legend, dude. Do you smell?
Today, The Rock is one of the most recognized Hollywood
Yo, come on, man.
Although many people would agree that he makes a much better celebrity than an actor. Most of The Rock's repertoire...
Yo, shut up. He makes a great actor, too. Stop hating on The Rock. I love the fucking Rock, dude. I love The Rock.
Today involves acting in high-profile but ultimately forgettable action flicks, and Moana. The Rock's widespread fame today may raise the question of how he got popular in the first place. You see, 20 years ago, The Rock
says, The Rock says, The Rock says,
wrestler has ever been able to hold the
the theme
palm of his hand
was
quite like
fire.
The Rock could. But it wasn't always like that. In fact, when The Rock first debuted in the WWF, he was hated. The Rock didn't start off as the wisecracking, smack-talking, one-liner dropping legend that many of you know him as today. He was a bland, dopey-looking Samoan called Rocky Maivia, who would
Rocky Maivia, no.
and smile like a goober. This was a character that may have worked 10 years prior, but not during the...
Damn. Nah, you know what? This is like the full... like epitome of just like everybody started from the bottom, now we're here, you know? Nobody, well, I'm not gonna say nobody. Not everyone starts at like instant greatness. Everybody starts from the bottom and then they become to what they are today. And The Rock right here, just seeing this is enough to say, this is how he started. Like they said, everybody hated him and then he became the legend that he is today.
Era of edgy 90s counterculture. WWF fans hated Rocky with a passion.
Damn.
They shower him with relentless boos while chanting,
Die, Rocky? Fuck.
Eventually, it became clear that the only way for Rocky Maivia to stop getting pushed around by the crowd was to push back. And on one fateful day, The Rock was born.
I got 3 words. Die, Rocky, die. That's the gratitude I get from you pieces of crap.
Over the next 2 years, The Rock would transform into one of the most smarmy villains in the company, becoming such a good heel that, ironically, the audience had no choice but to love him. In 1998, The Rock would align himself with Vince McMahon and the corporation to cheat to win the WWF Championship, commencing his new reign as the corporate champion. In order to become the champion, Mankind would have to go through not just The Rock, but the squad of goons in Vince McMahon's corporate stable. The deck seemed stacked against him. At least it was until he got a little help from Triple H. Triple H may be one of the most interesting wrestlers of all time, not for what he's done inside of the ring, but for what he's done outside of it. Triple H started off as just another no-name wrestler in the mid-90s. He is now one of the top executives in the WWE.
Yo. One of the top executives in WWE. This man is fucking smart. He's smart. He started from the bottom, was just a regular wrestler. Now he works for the corporation, bro. This man, and I think he's married to Mr. McMahon's daughter, right? Stephanie McMahon. He's married to one of the McMahons. Yo, man. Yo, come on, man. Yo, come on, dude. Triple H? This man's a legend, dude. Come on.
Real-life rise to power within the company is most likely due to his marriage with...
You said she bad as fuck? Bro, she got them things. She got them things, bro. I remember seeing her, like, way back. Like, when she used to wear them skimpy dresses, like, in WWF or whatever the fuck. She got some opie, bro. Like...
Stephanie McMahon, Vince McMahon's daughter and heir to the WWE.
Yes.
I would go more into Triple H, but this video by screenwriter Max Landis explains his career better than I ever could. All you need to know for our story is that Triple H is the leader of a faction called D-Generation X.
Hold the X's.
If you happen to be working at the Standards and Practices Department for the USA Network from 1997 to 2000, the mere mention of the letters DX will probably give you a PTSD flashback. Seemingly every week, DX would invent new ways.
Yo, as a kid, bro, it was a problem, bro. I used to go to school and just be my mom is like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just suck it. Like nonstop everywhere I went, bro. In church, I'm in church literally as a child. Yo, I remember one time my mom was about to beat my ass. I went to church one time as a kid with a Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt. And in the back of my shirt, it said John 3:16, Stone Cold, and it's just like the most high definition image on a t-shirt of just Stone Cold sticking both his middle fingers up like this. At a church. Yo, my mom was tight. She was like, ¿Y tú veniste con esa camiseta? I'm like, Mom, I like Stone Cold.
Ways to joke about their penises. They spent every moment on
Yo.
screen basically acting as raunchy as possible. They
Suck
also
it.
popularized the crotch chop 10 years before Waluigi did it.
Yo, Waluigi started doing it too. That's why whenever I saw Waluigi and Mario Strikers do I was like, wait a minute, Waluigi saying suck it.
As raunchy as possible. They also popularized the crotch chop 10 years before Waluigi did it. One time, the members of DX wrote a little
Waluigi with the shits. This is why there's a big soft spot in the community for Waluigi. He was straight up throwing up the suckets.
Front door of WCW Nitro just to stick it to their competition. But if there's one thing Triple H and DX hated more than WCW, it's authority. Hey, wait a minute. Anyway, whenever McMahon's ruthless corporation would attack a defenseless wrestler, DX would seemingly always be there to level the playing field. And that's exactly what happened in Mankind's championship match versus The Rock. We enter a scene of utter chaos, as the audience anxiously waits on pins and needles anticipating if Mankind can do the unthinkable and win the WWF title. And that's when they hear the all-too-familiar sound. At this moment, the roof of the arena is about to become unhinged from the surprise return of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Legend. Legend. Stone Cold, come on.
Stone Cold Steve Austin may be the most popular wrestler of all time,
Yes.
even more so than Hulk Hogan. But he, like many other wrestlers I've talked about here, came from humble beginnings. Stunning Steve Austin was just an average and forgettable wrestler for WCW in the mid-90s.
I've never seen that image of Stone Cold with hair. That's how Stone Cold used to look? Holy shit.
In 1995, WCW
Damn.
unceremoniously fired Austin while he was out of action with an injury. But if things couldn't get bad enough for Steve,
They
this
fired
was
him?
also the time when he went completely bald. And when a man has lost his hair, he has nothing left to lose. Steve Austin
Why he said that quote? When a man loses his hair, there's nothing left to lose.
would
God
go into
damn.
WWF with a vengeance. He cultivated the anger from his WCW firing and
That's
adopted it into
crazy.
a Stone Cold new persona. Stone Cold Steve Austin became a pissed-off redneck from Texas who would beat up everyone and everything. He was the consummate anti-hero, constantly interrupting matches to beat
Yo,
people.
Stone Cold's the only dude who used to fuck people up in jeans and make it look good. Like, Stone Cold with the jeans and he had the boots. I used to be like, damn, bro, I hate wearing jeans, but he makes beating people's ass with jeans look good.
People up for literally no reason. These antics made him popular for sure, but he would only attain legendary stardom through his feud with Vince McMahon.
Yes, and then the Rock feud was just,
Those of you unfamiliar with wrestling may have been confused earlier in this video when I mentioned that The Rock teamed up with Vince McMahon. Why is the owner of the WWF recruiting a stable of bad guys to beat up other wrestlers in his company? Well, unlike most billionaire CEOs, Vince McMahon is deeply passionate about the product he's selling. And he is willing to put his own ass in the ring and get beat up by his own
Boom!
employees as long as it's
Did you
good for
watch
business.
Hunter Cunt?
Even past
You say if I watch Hunter Cunt? Not yet. I will be watching it soon though, don't worry.
the ripe old age of 70, Vince is still occasionally willing to step in the ring and take a top rope frog splash from a 266-pound fat guy. Back in the 90s,
Oh, yo, imagine getting frog splashed by Kevin Owens. Oh my god, that dude is chunky. That's like getting hit with a cannonball, bruh.
when the WWF was in serious danger of going under, Vince took it upon himself to do whatever was necessary to save his company, going so far as to abandon his casual role as a commentator.
Bro, man. I don't care. I'm still mad that they got rid of JR. JR and Larry the King Lawler were the best commentators. Even though, don't get me wrong, the new commentator for WWE is fine. JR, come on, man.
And quickly transformed himself into the most despicable villain in all of wrestling.
JR is a GOAT. JR and the King are both GOATs.
What's happening? So I was sitting in my cubicle today and I realized ever since I started working, every single day of my life has been worse than the day before it. So that means that every single day that you see me, that's on the worst day of my life.
The 90s ushered in a period of sterile corporatization for the American worker. This was a time when most Americans had fallen out of faith with the government, but still somewhat trusted their corporate overlords. A time before companies like Enron and the big banks royally screwed up and put the world economy on a downward spiral. A time before the internet transformed the paradigm of what was thought possible for earning a paycheck. Most Americans entering the workforce at this time were left with one option. You would spend all your daylight hours, Monday through Friday, working in a cubicle under oppressive fluorescent lighting. And you were expected to do this week in and week out for 40 years. Naturally, a lot of workers weren't exactly thrilled with this reality. Vince McMahon must have known this because starting in 1998, he transformed himself into the living embodiment of everything Americans hated about their corporate world. And for every ounce of hatred projected on Vince, Americans found an equal amount of catharsis in watching Stone Cold Steve Austin.
He's a fucking genius, man. Vince McMahon is a fucking genius. He's a fucking genius.
Repeatedly beat the piss out of him on
And he literally did it on TV. He became the villain that everybody fucking hated. He became corporate. He became corporate America. And people night after night seeing Stone Cold Steve Austin fuck him up. Love that shit. Come on, man. Genius.
National TV. The Austin-McMahon feud escalated throughout the entire year, and it catapulted Austin into mainstream stardom. Steve Austin did on a weekly basis what every layperson in America wishes they could have done to their bosses, teachers, or any other oppressive authority figure that separated them from what they wanted. He represents something universal about the human spirit, the desire to fight back against those who control you, the constant dream of capturing your own slice of agency. Stone Cold Steve Austin is a man who cannot be controlled.
You said was? Look. Like I said, even though I know the business decisions that he makes now aren't the greatest, I still consider Mr. McMahon a legend. Because, I mean, the fact that he is what he is today, I still got to give him props for that. Obviously, he's old now, so I feel like some other people should help him make better decisions. But, you know, for what it was, I feel like I still got to give him props for what he's done, you know?
Because the second you try, he'll blow up your bus, fill your car with cement, and spray you with beer from a fire hose. And most importantly, he'll give the people what they want.
Boom! No, and The Rock used to sell the stunners so good. Like, whenever Stone Cold hit The Rock with a stunner, the Rock did like a whole backflip when he got hit with the stunner. I love that shit.
Many wrestling historians like to point to this moment as the loudest crowd reaction in WWE history. I guess ultimately that's the whole point of all of this, to give people a window into a different world. A world where you could truly believe the unbelievable. A world where valiant heroes could overcome seemingly impossible odds, and where despicable villains would always be brought to justice. Eventually. You just had to keep watching to see it happen, and many Americans did, even if it was just for 2 hours a week on a Monday night. Wrestling historians also like to point to this event as the moment where WWF surpassed WCW once and for all as the premier wrestling company in America. Over on TNT, the Nitro commentators intentionally spoiled the ending of that night's Raw ahead of time.
If you're even thinking about changing the channel to our competition fans, do not, because we understand that Mick Foley, who wrestled here one time as Cactus Jack, is going to win their world title.
This decision backfired spectacularly, as 600,000 Nitro viewers immediately changed the channel to Raw to witness one of the greatest moments in professional wrestling.
Oh my god, they fumbled. They fumbled. They try to be fucked up and spoil it. And 600K viewers left the Nitro to go watch the... Oh, you guys are idiots. You guys shouldn't even have... They shouldn't even have mentioned Monday Night Raw. They should have just kept focusing on what their show was. Damn.
Wrestling history. Conversely, those who kept watching Nitro that night got to witness one of the most anticlimactic and frustrating moments in wrestling history, as the despicable villain Hollywood Hogan reclaimed the WCW Championship after his so-called opponent Kevin Nash literally laid down and gave it to him. 2 years later, WCW would go out of business, and Vince would finally achieve his goal of conquering the last major American wrestling promotion by acquiring WCW for pennies on the dollar. Right after
Damn, he acquired it?
the WCW commentators spoiled the end of Raw that night, Tony Schiavone infamously mocked the idea of Mankind winning the WWF title by sarcastically commenting,
Gonna put the butts in the seat.
Technically, he was correct in his snide assessment, because no one was sitting down in the Centrum Center as the referee counted to 3 on Mankind's first ever championship victory. Monday Night Raw is still on the air today. WWE and wrestling as a whole have largely diminished in popularity since this time. It's a decline brought about not from what's different in the ring, but rather how the world has changed around it. And for this reason, WWE may never again be able to replicate a moment of this spectacle. But nothing else on TV really could either. The pure hype of the crowd surrounding the ring that night is something truly unique about professional wrestling. There's a visceral, palpitating feeling of unbridled excitement that permeates through whatever screen you're watching it on, even 20 years later. The cascading wave of emotion on display here is, quite simply, raw. And you'd be hard-pressed to replicate something like this with any other TV show. Not bad for something that's not even real. This is the end of just another episode of Monday Night Raw. There are more than 1,300 other episodes like it, and counting. So if you find yourself bored on a Monday night flipping through channels on TV, and you happen to catch a glimpse of a bunch of weird-looking muscle men brawling on the USA Network, you can stop and appreciate it, because there will never ever be another TV show like it.
Oh my God, no! Mankind did it! Mick Foley did it! No, Stone Cold did it! Mankind has achieved his dream, and the dream of everyone.
Damn.
You've been told you can't do it. No, you can't do it. You can't do this. My God, anything can happen in the WWF.
Nah, bro. Great video. Great video, Amp. Holy shit. Amp Lemon. Am I the only one who really loved that Sting took off his mask in the ring just to reveal his face paint? That looked exactly like his mask. That was gold. Man, that was a great episode. It didn't even feel like 34 minutes. Because it's like, I don't know, man. He was talking about something I was so interested in. Because I have a deep, soft spot for wrestling. You said the Revy video? Which Revy video? Not this one. 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 Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Hold on, hold on. I'm trying to find the right one. No, not the other kin. The chair. Yo, still. Shout out to Zav for that, man. Thank you, baby. Thank you. What is... Yo, the night... It's about to be 2 a.m. and y'all still throwing... Bro. Chill. It is 2 a.m. Yo, Electric. Yo, Electric Lion, thank you. Holy shit, you say I'm your number one hater?
Number one hater, for real. Also, hydrogen oxide is water.
I didn't even know that. He said I'm your number one hater for real. Also, hydrogen oxide is water. Is it actually? Why don't you just call it hydrogen oxide? H2O. Hydrogen. Oh. Hydrogen oxide,